captivating audiences. Now to someone who definitely doesn't need an introduction, but certainly deserves one anyway. Jeanne Sparrow is an award-winning speaker, television, and radio host. She hosts her own weekly radio show on V103 and a podcast, Fearless Authenticity with Jeanne Sparrow. And as if that wasn't enough, she can now add author to her name because this is the book. It's called Fearless Authenticity, Lead Better, Sell More, and Speak Sensationally. Jeanne, it is actually a little surreal to have you here because Jeanne and I actually worked together many years ago at a station across town where you were the host of the show.
Yes.
And I was a producer, content producer.
And now I get to be a guest on your show. I am so proud of you, Jackie.
Jeanne, well, actually, I'm just filling in, so this is not technically my show, but it's a good morning to be here. Because
this is your show today.
It is my show today, so I'm going to command the audience just like you do that every single time you are in front of anyone. Fearless Authenticity is such a wonderful book, and it combines the stories of so many different people that you've met along the way. But you start the book when you were just 4 years old with a moment where you met a nun. She came in, and it was one of the first times where you realized that you were sort of getting away from your own authenticity.
And I don't even know if I realized it as much as I knew that I was putting on a show, right?
Yes.
And I think all of us put on shows for other people at different points in time. And like looking back on it, I realized that that's where it starts, right? Because we start to try to make other people feel comfortable with us as opposed to just letting it happen, right? Because we always think, we get these messages that the world is telling us we're not enough, when a lot of times it's our choice to say, ooh, I don't think I'm good enough. And we believe that, and then we start to shrink ourselves or change ourselves to fit it. And I'm saying, let's do the opposite of that, because it takes us a while to figure out that we are a gift and in what way we're a gift.
Absolutely. Can you tell that story, though, of the nun?
Okay, so
just a little bit about, what exactly happened.
So I'm adopted, and I was adopted through Catholic Charities. And so one of the things that happens when you're adopted is that, at least at that point in time, is that you had home visits before it was actually finalized. Now, what I found out much, much later is that my birth father had not signed off on all the paperwork yet. And so, but it was still happening, these visits. And so the nun comes in, and she was different than the nuns at our school because she was a little more modern, right? And she had an accent because she was from the New York area, which is where I was adopted out of. And she's asking me questions. And that was like the first time, because as a kid, you're used to like the adults talking, right? And not being able to have a conversation yourself. And so when you're the center of conversation, then all of a sudden it becomes, ooh, I got to show off. I get to tell her what I know.
And I will show off.
Exactly, because that is my personality.
So in reflection, when you, obviously it did take years of age and experience to realize kind of what was starting to form that performative nature in that moment. How long, I guess, did it take you to figure that out? And what did you learn about what happens when you are separated from your own authenticity?
So what I've learned a lot, I'll tell you, it's an ongoing journey. It is something that I still do to this day, that you recognize the moments when you are making choices that are more important for other people than they are for yourself, because all of the choices we make are for us to do things together. Like, fearless authenticity to me is a way to build community with somebody, because I get to be special in my lane and you get to be special in yours as well. Then there's not competition, even if we're doing the same thing, right? And so it's a lifetime of things, and it's a lifetime of choices that you make every single day. And I think the first time I really realized it was when I had a boss who told me that he hired me for what he said, it was my boss at WGCI when I was working there. He said, I don't pay you for what you say. I don't pay you to play the hits. I pay you for what you say in between the hits.
That's a powerful thing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he was like, because that's how people connect you. They can get music anywhere. And this was before Spotify. So imagine how much more important that is now, right? We connect with each other through the stories we tell, and not just the stories we tell, in general, but the stories we tell about ourselves.
Absolutely. Really quickly, when you're telling a personal story that maybe you could have some fear around how people might react, how do you push through that and just do it anyway? Like, how do you not?
I channel my inner Jackie Kostak is what I do. That's what I do. Because Jackie, I don't know if she didn't tell you, but Jackie is in the book, y'all.
This is about you. It did warm my heart to see a little bit of my story, because you had such a profound impact on me in a time when I really needed to see a graceful, powerful woman be authentically herself.
I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah. But here's what the secret is that you faced something that was hard for you. You worked through it, and you were honest about it, and it helped you to see how you weren't just telling other people's stories, but you were telling your own as well. And that's really what it comes down to.
Thank you, Jeanne. Well,
you're welcome,
I appreciate you so much. And the book is Fearless Authenticity. The audio book is going to be coming out in late March. Right?
Yes, March 25th.
Okay, but you can get the book online right now, JeanneSparrow.com. Jeanne, thank you so much.
I love you, dear.
I love you too. Thank you so much for coming in. It makes my day.